Philadelphia Eagles fans, welcome back to our final mock draft for the 2025 offseason. We're going to do all 7 rounds. I'm going to take my time going through this draft and figure out if there's any spots we want to move up, we want to move back, we want to stick and pick. You'll have to stick around and figure out what my thoughts are as we're moving forward. Remember, they did release 26 out of the 30 players that they're bringing in for top 30 visits. So I definitely think the Eagles are going to try to focus on those top 30 players in this draft. They seem to like to draft them each and every year. I think it's like 65% of their picks over the last 4 or 5 years have been guys that come in for these top 30 visits. Don't forget, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into the video. All right, Eagles fans, this is how the board played out for us at 32 overall. Okay, a guy I really like is Josh Conerly Jr. He came in for a top 30 visit. 6'5", 311, super athletic. Okay, the Philadelphia Eagles are in position, guys, to not have to draft someone that comes in right away and starts. If the value is right, like a guy like Josh Conerly Jr., then it might behoove them to make the pick. Josh Conerly Jr. is a great player. He could be the heir apparent for Lane Johnson at right tackle, or play in a pinch at left tackle or right tackle if one of them gets hurt. They're bringing him in for a top 30 visit, not to get drafted in the second round, because Conerly isn't making it all the way down to the Eagles at 64 overall, or even in the middle of the second round. This guy's going to be gone. They brought him in with the potential of drafting him in the first round. And a lot of people think that you got to draft players early that are going to come in and be impact players right away. Actually, it would behoove them to learn and then be a better player when they actually do take the field for the Philadelphia Eagles. A guy like Mykel Williams is on the board that I really like. Derek Harmon could be a fit there, for the Philadelphia Eagles. And a lot of these corners are still on the board. There's some depth at, guard at Tyler Booker and Donovan Jackson as well. I might want to move up in the second round, so we're going to slow this down. But I'm going to take Conerly Jr. A lot of people might roast me for doing that, but I'm not drafting a player that we need in immediacy. The way this roster is built, I don't think that we need someone to come in and play right away in the first round. I don't. Even like with positions of players that we lost, like Milton Williams and Josh Sweat. We have Jalix Hunt and Moro Ojomo that could step in and get starting reps right away. So the Eagles are in a position to draft the best players on the board. And Josh Conerly Jr. is there, and I'm taking him. I'm taking him, guys. And we're going to see how some of these picks play out, So Derek Harmon went, Shedeur Sanders went, Malik Williams went. A lot of these cornerbacks are still available. Ben Morrison's still on the board. Savon Revel's still on the board. Ben Morrison just went. Kevin Winston, like the safeties are going now, I'm looking at a team like the Cardinals that is a potential trade up spot for us. Let's see. Jets go Higgins, guard Booker, Williams, Landon Jackson, Maxwell Harrison Jr. So Revel's still on the board. So let's see if we can potentially move up with Arizona and get this pick. So we're going to swap 64 and 47. And then let's see about a 2026 fourth rounder. Not going to do it. 2026 third rounder could do it for us, guys. So we're swapping picks, 47 for 64, and throwing in a third rounder next year. Has a 74% chance of getting accepted by the Cardinals. Let's see. Oh, no. Oh, so actually that worked out for us. I hit resume by accident, and they went TJ Sanders, a guy that, we don't necessarily need. I do like him, but, that saves us some value there. But I think a D-back could be here for Miami. So let's check out Miami. Let's swap 64 and 48. That third rounder, 83% chance. What about a fourth rounder? No, that's not going to get it done. Let's do third rounder and let's throw in 150. No, how about 231? Okay, how about 230, 224? What about 155? How about 150? How about 135 for 161? Okay, there we go. Let's try that. So we're going to swap second round pick 64 and 48. We're going to give up a third rounder and 161 to get 135 this year. All right, let's go offer the trade. And it's accepted. All right, 48. We're selecting now, guys, a lot of guys on the board that we could pick that I like. Savon Revel. He's coming off that injury, but OMG, is this guy an absolute beast. Absolute beast. But Princely Umanmielen is on the board as well. 6'4", 255. Woo, baby. Woo, baby. That's going to be a debate for us, guys. Eagles fans, let me know. Do you go Princely Umanmielen or do you go Savon Revel? Revel's a first-round pick if he doesn't get hurt. You know? And I'm assuming when we make these picks that all the medicals are fine. If we find out later that the medicals aren't fine, so be it. But 11 sacks, 18 over the last 2 years. Princely Umanmielen from Ole Miss. Look at, you know what? I wanted to go cornerback, but I think we can get one later that's pretty good. I'm going Princely Umanmielen, the edge defender from Ole Miss. The dude's an absolute freaking monster. I love that pick there, guys. I love it. I love it. All right, let's juice this back up. All right, now, guys, we're on the board in the third round. 96 overall. Belton came in for a visit as well. He's really interesting. Harold Fannin Jr., the tight end, is on the board too, guys. Woo, baby. We got some choices, guys. We got some choices. As you all know, Dallas Goedert is in the last year of his contract. No guaranteed money on the deal this year. They're talking about trading him. Harold Fannin Jr. could be very interesting. Smaller guy, 6'4", 230. But, man, he's a playmaker through and through. You know, playmaker. He's not even 21, so he could add a little bit of size to his frame, get up to that, 235, 240 range, Man, he's really, really talented. So bringing in, that's a really interesting pick there, guys. But, cornerbacks, really interesting. Jacob Parrish came in for a visit as well. He's still on the board. But for me, I'm going Harold Fannin Jr. I want to bring a playmaker into this offense. And not even 21 yet. I expect him to put on a little bit of size as time goes on. So I'm doing it. I'm bringing in the tight end, Harold Fannin Jr. at 96 overall. Now, we're up at 134 overall in the fourth round. So here's the spot where I'm looking at safety and I'm going to look at cornerback. We got to boost the secondary a little bit. Longer beams on the board. But Hancock from Ohio State, pretty damn good player, right? Missed tackle rate under 10%. I really like that. He's just a good player. Solid against the run. Very good in coverage. 6'1", 195. He's best near the line of scrimmage as a nickel defender. And that makes sense, right? The Eagles need more of a strong safety, in my opinion. And that kind of makes sense, right? Good in zone coverage, and that fits this zone-heavy scheme. So I'm going Jordan Hancock, the safety from Ohio State, in the fourth round. We got a pick. Then the very next pick, 135 overall, right? Taking a look at the board here, we went tackle, edge defender, tight end, safety. Cornerback, definitely a spot I'm interested in, for sure. Peebles on the D-line, a guy who's really, really, really good. 6'1", 290, 3 technique defensive tackle. He could really be a formidable guy. The pass rush win rate, almost 18%, is great. Is he big enough to play that 3-4 kind of, I don't know. That's debatable. Let's kind of see where he's being mocked to. Yeah, definitely probably more of the 4-3 schemes, but, the Giants are a 3-4 scheme, so he's a pretty scheme versatile guy, Jack Kaiser, the off-ball linebacker, I really like him as well. They definitely need some off-ball linebacker help. I want to take a look at D tackle, see what's going on, what's good in the neighborhood. Cameron Jackson's more of a nose. So, could that be a position that we target in this draft? They have Jordan Davis, but maybe they're going to move on. Tonka Hemingway is on the board as well, 6'3", 288. He's an interesting guy. Walker from Kentucky, another guy, pretty damn good player. 345, bigger boy. Big boy. Cam Hormsley, a guy I definitely have liked in my scouting process. Pretty good player. I do like Cam Hormsley. Faux show, 6'4", 306, right? Pretty athletic guy. But I think Peebles is too good to pass up. I'm going to go Peebles here at 135 overall. We went D-line. We got him. We got our edge. We got, a rotational piece on the D-line at 135 overall. Now we're up in the 5th round. 3 5th-round picks. All right. So we went tackle. We got our outside linebacker / edge. We got a D lineman. We got a safety, tight end. Cornerback is definitely a spot I want to bring in. O'Donnell Fortune is on the board. He's a steal here, guys. I'm telling you. 6'1", 185. I love this pick. I love O'Donnell Fortune. He's going to be around in the 4th and 5th rounds for the Eagles. Definitely put him on your radar because I definitely think he could be a guy that the Eagles could kind of covet at that spot, right? For sure. Now, Kobe King, they brought him in for a visit. Excellent off-ball linebacker. I'm not even going to think twice about it. Great player. Excellent against the run. Good size, 6'1", 248. I think he's just physical enough, plays hard enough. I love that selection there for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm pretty happy with this haul so far, Eagles fans. Connerly Jr., I know a lot of Eagles fans probably aren't going to like that pick, but I don't give a shit. Because, listen, Howie Roseman builds teams through the trenches. And having that kind of depth with Connerly, and honestly, he could probably compete for the right guard spot right away. It's not normal for the Eagles to have a guy start right away, but if he's just so much better than the other guys, he's athletic enough to play all over the offensive line, just great overall depth, and probably a future left tackle or right tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles. I love that selection. And you get the 5 years of team control. I love it. All right, now our final pick, 168 overall. I'm just going to go best player available right now, man. I want to find the best player, R.J. Oben. 6'3", 262. Older guy, 6-year prospects. I don't love that. I'm not super... Ja Joyner is a guy I've really, really, really liked. 6'5", 265. Had really good, really good 40 time. 3-4 DN. Add a little juice. Zah Frazier, a cornerback I really do like for a later pick in the 5th round. We got a lot of our needs already, guys. If we look at the Eagles, what we actually need going forward, we got a wide receiver. We got an edge defender. We got a cornerback. Maybe bringing in a guard just to add some depth to that room could make some sense. So let's take a look at interior offensive line. Connor Colby from Iowa, pretty damn good player. I like the Eagles. He's a pretty bad pass blocker, and I don't think that's going to work for the Eagles. Cooper from Minnesota, decent player. Jonah Monahan, Dylan Fairchild from Georgia. I love Dylan Fairchild because he's such a good pass blocker, man. 87 overall grade. Only gave up 1 sack his entire college career. Playing at Georgia against some of the best defensive lines in football, Georgia Tech, Ole Miss, Florida, Texas. Pretty good player, man. And remember, this is late in the 5th round. So he's definitely in play for me. If I'm going to go guard, I'll go Dylan Fairchild. Do I want to go guard? Deion Walker, the interior defensive lineman, could make some sense for us as well. 6'6", 345. Bring in some depth at the nose, right? I like that. That could be interesting. I do like Deion Walker there. He's a pretty solid guy. You know, I'm taking a look at all the players left. John Joyner I like. I do like Kyle Monangai. South Frazier. We got some depth at corner, so I don't want to bring any more cornerbacks in. Nick Nash, the wide receiver. Could make some sense here, guys. Okay, so the Eagles drafted 2 wide receivers last year, and I don't know how much longer they're both going to be on the roster. Anaya Smith, Johnny Wilson. These guys, they're just not that good. Nick Nash is a gangster. 6'3", 195. You know, a little bit older of a guy. That could be really interesting on the outside there. You have Nick Nash, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith in the slot. I could get into that. I could definitely get into that. Nick Nash, let me know in the comments below, guys. You like Nick Nash? I think that's a very, very interesting pick. John Joyner, the edge defender, is just so good. Yeah, I'm going to go John Joyner. You can never have too many edge defenders in the 5th round. We're going to double dip at edge. All right, guys, here we are. B- overall grade. They didn't like the Hancock pick, but we don't have any safety, so that makes no sense. Princely Umanmielen, I like that, man. I like that. We traded up in the 2nd round to get Princely Umanmielen. I love that pick. We got Josh Connolly Jr. and Princely Umanmielen. Then we got a tight end of the future, Fannin Jr., Peebles and O'Donnell Fortune, Kobe King, John Joyner. Just great middle of this draft picks. I think we did an exceptional job in the 4th and 5th round, bringing in talent that has time to start. And John Joyner's more like a developmental guy, 168 overall. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles maybe traded back and got some picks for the next year with that pick. But we got a cornerback, we got D-line help, offensive line help. These are the positions that the Eagles need to get younger at, in my opinion. Connolly Jr., definitely want to get younger at tackle. He was just too good to pass up at 32. The value was just too high. And the same thing with Princely Umanmielen. We moved up in the 2nd round and got a killer on the edge. And I like Harold Fannin Jr. Hancock is a really good pick, I think. He could play nickel. He could play the safety position, you know, be the strong safety to come up and stop the run. Peebles, I really liked. O'Donnell Fortune, the value's too good. Kobe King, top 30 visit guy, and John Joyner, the edge defender from Minnesota. I like it, guys. You got to take the grades with a grain of salt, but I think if the Eagles got a haul similar to this, you know, a really good offensive lineman, a great edge defender, and a tight end with their top 3 picks, I think you got to be pretty happy, especially when you get O'Donnell Fortune in the 5th round and Peebles in round 4. I like it. Let me know in the comments down below, guys. Do you like these picks? Do you not like these picks? I'm excited for the Eagles draft. Thank you guys so much for all your support over this offseason. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.